emulate the taste of like non-chicken nuggets. So these nuggets are made from chicken, but they're made to emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope.
Oh, that's much better.
Edit all the blather out of your videos because my time is very precious.
Oh, that's fire.
Make it less teal and more
Cerulean? Sure.
Replace your background with something more fun? The cold void of outer space.
Let's boost that sound quality. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Emulate the taste of non-chicken nuggets. Dope.
It needs more style. It needs more clips, more gifs, more. Well, I might have made it too gnarly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to How to Create AI Speakers and Use Them in Your Workflow. I'm Christiana, Community Manager here at Descript. We are joined and led today by the amazing Gabe, our Product Release Coordinator, overall Descript Wizard, amazing human. Gabe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Christiana. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just had a delicious lunch, and now we're talking about AI speakers. My afternoon is great.
That's awesome. It's been a while since we've done one of these too.
I know. I'm almost rusty, but I think our lovely friends in the chat will be gracious with us. Speaking of which, thank you for being here on this fine Thursday. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know where you're at in your Descript journey, your AI speaker journey, or just, tell us what you had for lunch. Just chat. We love to chat.
Where are you at on that road of life?
That's right. Check in. I'm seeing some regulars from the Discord and some new folks. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. We're talking AI speakers today, previously known as Overdub. Though Overdub is still part of it. We basically relaunched this thing 6 months ago. Right, Gabe? Just about?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm just going to agree with you because time's a mirage to me at this point.
Yeah, I think it was like December of last year. So just about 6 months. We had Overdub before, voice cloning, and then we rebuilt our engine. So these things sound a whole lot better. And you can make a pretty dang good clone of your voice. So I'm going to share my screen and show some agenda items, some housekeeping, so you have the best viewing experience possible. And then we'll toss it over to Gabe and jump right in to our lovely demos. And we will all learn so much. Okay, cool. Let me move us here. Okay, so we will talk a little bit more in depth. What are AI speakers? What can you do with them? We will show you how to make AI speakers with Descript. How to correct audio mistakes just by typing with Overdub, give you a deep dive on Overdub. How to create new audio with text-to-speech, so creating audio from scratch. How to fix impossible audio problems with Regenerate. Regenerate is one of my favorite features, so I'm excited to talk about that. And then also using stock speakers. We have a bunch of AI stock speakers in Descript. We'll show you how to use them. And then, of course, we will save time at the end for Q&A, but we're casual here. I will also be throwing questions at Gabe throughout his demo. So use the chat over on YouTube for chatting and asking questions about what we cover. The wonderful Marcelo, support manager, is also in the chat and will be answering questions there as well. So chat with him, chat with your fellow audience members. If you have specific questions, we have weekly office hours in our Discord. You can join either in that corner or that corner. I don't know which it is. But yeah, jump over there. There are almost 20,000 folks in there. We would love for you to join. But also you can submit a support ticket and chat with a support rep directly. If we refresh your browser, it normally does the trick. And also, I already saw this asked in the chat. This is, don't throw things, I'm laughing. This is, sometimes you shouldn't read the chat because people are funny and it'll throw off your spiel. Shout out Lou for that funny joke. I think it was Lou. Anyway, but yeah, so what was I talking about? This is recorded. All of our events are recorded. We will send a follow-up email with the link for your convenience, but also at the link where you are watching, this will live forever. So you can pause and come back later. If you want more help, check out the Help Center, help.descript.com. And as mentioned, join our Discord community. Also, we always like to give out a free month of Descript Pro for folks who are new to the Descript universe. We want you to be able to use everything that we show today to its fullest extent. So AI Speaker May is your code. You can scan that QR code if you're on a free plan or you're brand new to Descript. That'll get you a free month. But don't feel like you have to scramble, because once again, I will be putting this in the follow-up email. So I hope you take advantage of your free month. And then last but not least, we just announced this yesterday. This Tuesday, June 4th, we are hosting Season 6. Season events are when Descript sort of bundles up some really exciting new features and things we're launching to the world, and doing a fun event to sort of share all of that exciting stuff. Scan that QR code to join us, or I'll throw it right in the chat. Sign up there. It's going to be super fun. I'm hosting. Our CEO, Andrew, will be doing Q&A. So please join us. We have some really exciting stuff coming down the pike. I don't know about you, Gabe, but I'm feeling hype.
Yeah, actually feeling incredibly hype. We just did an internal demo for our employees here. And I, at the end of it, was just like, I can't think of a single thing I'm actually all that worried about right now. And
I know. Yeah.
good.
It feels like different. Like
Yeah.
a lot of, like, something is sort of feeling right about this release.
Mhm.
Not that our other ones felt wrong. That's just like, okay, we're getting to this point where we really like took in a lot of feedback that we heard from the community and our users. And yeah, a lot of you folks, Marcelo, I think, is alluding to this, gave us tons of really good feedback, looked at the new stuff early, and I'm really excited to launch this with the world. A little insider hint, we are going to launch something on Product Hunt that day, so make a product account and support us in our launch when it comes. Make me look good to my boss, stuff like that. But yeah, we'll bring this up again later. We would love for you to join us. And yeah, okay, those are my infomercials. It is time to talk AI speakers. Gabe, I'm gonna pass it over to you, and maybe you can start us off with, what the heck is this stuff anyway?
Yeah, what the heck is it? So we're going to talk through all the steps of how AI speakers work in Descript, what they are. We're going to create one live. You're going to have a chance to steal my voice. It's going to be a load of fun.
Yeah.
So just to start, AI speakers are AI generated voices based on a model, that model being you or a trusted friend, or even one of our lovely stock speakers. So we had some voice actors come in and read some scripts, and we generated AI voices of them for you to use. And they work essentially exactly the same as the ones that you make for yourself. We will also talk, as you said, about regenerate and things you can do in your project with all of these cool AI speaker voices.
Cool.
Shall we get started on the first part, generation?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I just, for context, I was in Drive View here. We do have a web version of Descript available now. We very sneakily removed the beta tag. We will be talking about that at our launch event, but it's technically not in beta anymore, so go check it out, web.descript.com. Okay, AI speakers, it's right here on the sidebar. You can see I've already made a couple voices. And yes, Christiana, please do stop me at any point if you think we can talk more in depth about anything.
I will.
Thank you. So these are the voices I have. This is a colleague here. These are voices I've created earlier. If you used the old model, your voices are still going to be here. But with the new model, we have drastically shrunk the amount of time it takes you to generate one of these voices. So I'm going to give this a new name just so that we can distinguish it from the other ones, even newer, because I already have one called New Model. Confirm, and here we are. We are looking now. I need to do some allow steps. Let's allow on every visit. I trust you, Descript. There we go. Look how short the script is. We used to require 15 minutes or more. You know, if you wanted to get a really high quality voice, you would come in with an audio file, or you'd record for 10 to 20 minutes, and then we would take, in some cases, up to 24 hours to generate a voice. Now it's this one paragraph. Your microphone is already plugged into our system here. Let's use my good microphone instead. I could also, if I already had a file with me reading this, I could choose that. I won't be clicking that just now, just because all it is import file, as you're used to with many, many other apps. Train an authorized speaker. Record the statement below to train your speaker and authorize its use. For best results, read with a range in your voice and tone. So the idea here is that this script is prompting you to say different lines slightly differently. So, and you'll understand what that means as I record it. So here we go. Again, please do steal my voice, get me in trouble, make me say all sorts of wacky, crazy things, and then send it to me. Record. I want Descript to create an artificial version of my voice that I can use to create speech that sounds like me. I'm training my voice by reading the following statement. Imagine a big blue ball spinning in space. That's our Earth. On it, there are tall mountains, deep oceans, and huge forests with animals. In cities, people talk, play, and work. We all have different voices. Some people speak softly, while others are loud. Every day, we tell stories, ask questions, and share jokes. Almost exactly 30 seconds flat.
Amazing
Incredible.
job.
And I'm going to hit submit. And you know what? Me and you, Christiana, we're going to hang out, and we're just going to wait. We're going to wait for this to process, because it's so fast that I may have to come up with something else to talk about in the meantime. But
I can throw a question your way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Someone asked, I think you answered this earlier.
Yeah.
If I made a new voice back in April, did I use the new model?
Yes, if you have done this within about the time period Christiana mentioned, I believe December was the cutoff for the old model. Anything after December would be in this model. You can still use the old ones too, so don't worry about that. But you can also just hop in here and create tons of different voices, as many as you like. Try reading the script differently. This is already done, by the way. I totally, I shouldn't even have doubted how quick. That was about 15 seconds flat. And so I believe we can get a preview of this if we do a little refreshy, maybe. Let's click away and click back, because you can listen to these.
The sun again for 4 months.
Did that play back? Did we hear that?
Did. Yep, I heard that.
Really, no greater ordeal is faced by any animal.
I'm just going to refresh just to see if I get a play button on the new one, just so I can. I'm not sure why it takes time for that. I've actually never noticed that before. We're not going to worry about that though. I think maybe it's because it's the new model. Yeah. You can share these voices with your colleagues, people who are on your drive, or just whoever. I could send it to my mom, dad, uncle, my government agent who monitors me, anybody who might need it. You could also delete and rename the voice. Cool. Any questions about that before we jump to using it?
Some folks are asking about, do you have to record that specific script, or
Yep.
can you say have a project with your audio and make it from there?
No, so you can, you always have to use that script for a couple of reasons. Reason number one being that it is consistent. So it makes sure that all voices are recorded using the same basic data and looking for the same things. It is, it's just a bit more convenient than the old style where you would have to target a voice. Yeah. There are some addendums to that, which would be when we get into talking about regenerate.
Yep.
But until then, for the basic, just creating a speaker, it does have to be this script.
Cool. Okay. Question. And then another quick question. would it be helpful to re-record voices every few months to catch any updates?
Usually we will at least post in changelog if we've made major improvements.
Yep.
Up to you, definitely. It's so fast that I struggle to think of a reason like why you shouldn't just try it when you feel like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, if you would like your styles to be a little bit different, you can go in and just make different ones. Like if I, want an angry version. One thing to note about that is that the goal is to kind of get things smoothed out and normalized. So you might lose some of the angry tone, but it will be different than if you have a different intonation in your voice. It'll probably sound a bit different.
Cool. Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
Let's go to a project.
Awesome.
This is just our little release roundup video that we have been doing. But I'm going to jump to a blank project so that we can just we can introduce some of our other workflows here. I'm going to have this write a script for me. Any suggestions for our Mad Libs here?
Ooh, how about let's draft a script about summertime activities
Okay.
in Chicago.
Well, I could just tell you about that stuff.
Oh
No,
shoot.
I'm
Okay,
kidding.
let's do
No, I'm kidding.
let's pick a different city to make
Okay.
it more fun. How about Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Yeah, now I have to spell Albuquerque. Laugh.
Wait, yeah, I'm making your life so hard.
Yeah, I think the AI is going to know what I mean by that.
Yep.
And we're going to do this in the style of Walter White. Chat, do not tell me how to spell Albuquerque. I do not care.
I think it's going to happen.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they got your back.
They fixed it for me. Cool, great. Here we go. Okay, so summertime in Albuquerque. Add to script.
I love the sassy tone. All right, listen up.
Well, it was Walter White, so
It's awesome.
I don't know. Does Walter White say "all right, listen up" a lot? So we're generating now. My overdub is being applied here. You do this through the speakers menu. When we talk about stock speakers and other things like that, we'll go over what these menu options do. But
Cool.
just as a starting point, this will be whatever speakers are available to you, what's been shared with you.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
And then generation for these, I would say on average is basically the same as the old model. Sometimes we'll see it takes just slightly longer in some instances. The good news is the quality is so much better that we feel pretty confident that it's chill if you have to wait a minute or two longer. But yeah.
Yep.
Any cues we can talk through while we're waiting for Jenny?
Yes. Question from Paraquito on the YouTube chat. Does the AI voice get better the more you use it? Say I'm recording audio and then assign that voice to the speaker. Yeah.
Not in any way that I've heard super specifically. I think it's as the model gets updated over time, certainly I think you'll notice those improvements can be applied in a lot of cases retroactively. But I wouldn't necessarily think like, oh, because I've used this 8 times in like 50 different contexts that I now have a better result. Yep. I would say maybe just re-record if you want to get different results out of something.
Totally. Okay, cool.
And if this takes too long, we will just let it spool in the background and come back to it and move on to our next topic.
Okay.
Give it another 10 to 15 seconds here.
I've got another question I can
Great. Let's do it.
Okay, so a few people have brought up in the chat, is this available in other languages? Specifically, someone said, do you have an idea when the French version is going to go out? So right now, this is only supported in English, right?
That's correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we do have that in our roadmap, but at this time, I cannot give any hints as to when that will be revealed.
Yes, but we will let y'all know as soon as there's a plan for that.
Mhm. It is in the works. So it's high on our priorities list. I think
Totally.
after the season 6 launch, you might start to hear a little bit more about features along these lines.
Awesome.
Cool. And we have a result now. Let's see how Gabe as Walter White sounds.
All right, listen up. It's summertime in Albuquerque. The sun beats down stronger here than it does anywhere else. You can feel it piercing through your skin, making you sweat like let's just say it's intense, but there's something special about these hot months. It's the time when the air smells like desert sage and possibilities. It's when the streets get quieter, save for the cicadas buzzing in the trees. Those of us who live here know how to handle the heat, but it's not just about surviving. It's about thriving in our own unique way.
Exactly as Walter White would have put it. I mean, I can't think.
It's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, not bad. It gave me. I mentioned that kind of smoothing thing that it does.
Yep.
And what I might do in this circumstance, if I felt like this isn't quite right, I might just go back and re-record it. Take me another 15 seconds or so. Maybe adjust my microphone, adjust my distance from the microphone, because the more sort of noise and other data is in, the more it has to sort of interpret what your voice might sound like.
Yep.
But I felt okay about that. We won't re-record it for now since we've already covered how that works, and it's pretty quick if you want to tweak things. Cool. Summer in Albuquerque. There we go.
Nice. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay, so we've talked through what's up next, Christiana?
Let's see. Yeah, we talked about demoing how to create your voice, creating audio from scratch. Maybe we should jump into sort of using Overdub to replace sections of projects.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm going to go with this file here. This is just me from our little recording session. Just for context, this is fake smoke, and that's a kazoo. I am not not in a smoky room with a big pipe there. But yes, so for single speaker files video, you can grab any section of your audio, use replace, overdub. And then this will swap it out with your AI speaker voice. If I had not already trained a voice at this point, I could re-record and create a new one, or I can just label the speaker in the project with the correct AI voice. So let me do that now. That was just Command at. Cool, that's not working great. Let's go up here and select it. There we go. One speaker. And then where was that overdubbed section? That's cool. We'll just do it one more time. There we go. Place, overdub, overdub. Cool. It's generating in my voice. You will see this if it's not somebody whose voice you've already trained. You will need to get authorization and have them record a statement. They can send you the file and use that choose file flow. Cool. And then we'll just wait for this to generate out, and then I can explain a little bit about what's happening here. When you have a single speaker file, it works like pretty seamlessly. What it does is it actually smooths over the video for this section to try and get the lip sync to be correct still. So let's watch this.
Yeah, it sure was. Our team made some internal changes to how cloud exports are processed. These improvements.
So yeah, not bad at all in terms of lip sync. I would say like if I felt like maybe these last two words were a little stilted or robotic, I could regenerate this again, get another option. I could restore the original or keep it. I'm going to go ahead and keep it.
Cool.
Here we go. One thing that's important to note, and I'm going to go to a sequenced file here for a second to explain this. So when you have a file that is a sequence, we do not currently do that kind of smoothing. So if I grab this section here and I replace with overdub, we're going to lose my video track temporarily. So because it is in a multi-track session, it's just not yet smart enough to grab that, paste it, smooth it out, and then sync everything and make sure that the script is consistent. So just keep in mind, if you are using sequence files, multi-speaker tracks, that sort of thing, and you use this, you will need to figure out what you want here. One great option is if you're talking about something and you can show some B-roll, perfect.
Yep.
You can freeze frame, you can put the original video back and try and match it sort of like the other one does with the speed adjustments. Lots of different options there.
Cool. Gabe, you showed off, or you mentioned that you can sort of redo the overdub if you want to get a different version. Deb asked, how many times can you do that?
8,902,000. I think you can do it as many times as you want. Let's verify, of course, but
yeah, Marcelo. I think Marcelo wrote in the chat that is true.
Cool.
But yes, so that's in beta right now. He wrote, so it's possible that it will limit that in the future.
Yeah.
But right now, go crazy.
Yeah, go nuts. Yeah, there's always the possibility that like all of these AI features have been in beta for a long time. They will not be in beta forever, and at some point we may go like, well, we're spending money on making all of this stuff for you, so we might have to put it in one of the subscription plans and put some gates there. Nothing further to say on that, but you just click regenerate. You could do this over and over again as of today. Sweet, cool. We should talk about regenerate. Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Regenerate is not technically an AI speaker action. I mean, it is in a way, but it doesn't require consent. It's because what it's doing, and again, mind these beta tags because they do indicate that we are still working on like perfecting the sauce here.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and click regenerate. And what this is going to do is regenerate this exact phrasing with a different tone and tonality. So this would be like a good section if I said this sentence. It's actually not cloud exports. And I said it more like it's not actually cloud exports or so. I didn't like my delivery. My tone was weird. I was using a little boy British accent, that sort of thing. It's going to grab that, regenerate it for me using my voice. And because we are not altering the content at all, which you can do when you overdub something, it doesn't require that consent statement. So let's listen to this one.
Cool.
It's actually not cloud exports. I don't know why Brandon.
I sounded like mildly like I was in the deeper part of my voice, but other than that, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was great.
What I'm saying. It was our teammate.
Help me out here.
It's actually not cloud exports.
Okay, so if I didn't like that, I'm like, I sound too much like Barry White. I'm gonna go ahead and store existing audio. Interesting. Not sure what I did wrong there. Oop. Let's try one more time. Let's go back. Let's see what happens here. I am not sure why that didn't work. Oh, I have to keep? What's going on? Well, usually you can regenerate these. I seem to be doing something wrong in terms of order of operations.
No worries.
But yes, if you don't like the take, this button should, in most cases, regenerate it for you.
Cool.
Again, probably some kind of issue that I have missed here in terms of why that's not working.
No worries. Cool. It's important to do things live so that we can build character and, show that, folks, when you hit bugs, so do we.
Yes.
We're right there with you.
I'm not even sure this is a bug. I feel like I did something wrong and I don't know what it was.
Okay, well, same still applies. When you make mistakes, Gabe even makes mistakes too.
Yes.
Okay.
I make and bake mistakes. Cool. Where are we moving to now?
Cool. Okay. So, did we fully cover text to speech already?
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of, I guess we kind of jumped the outline there a little bit. Regenerate just worked just now, by the way. I did finally restore my pride and get that tool to work as
Heck yeah.
expected. And now it's not working.
Way to be resilient.
Get out of here. Cool. Yeah. So let's talk. Make sure we covered everything in text to speech. So
Cool.
aside from generating a script, if I have text that I want from somewhere else to bring into my project, let's say, I'd like an audio version of our outline for this today. I can just paste it into write mode. It's going to generate like any other text. So right now it is thinking about overdubbing this for me. Let's see how that's going. Yep, it is loading. There are times that text-to-speech will get something wrong, or even when you replace something. I made this little composition here that it has a bunch of acronyms in it. And I would like to see if it fails any of these words. There's lots of good kooky words in here that might not get generated correctly. So let's take a quick listen and see if we catch one.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather round. Today, we're diving into the kooky, convoluted, and sometimes downright confounding world of acronyms. And believe me, there's no shortage of them, especially in government, tech, and marketing. Let's take a whimsical journey through the alphabet soup. The government. Where else could you find more acronyms per square inch than a bowl of alphabet soup? Take the FBI, for instance.
Okay.
Sounds cool,
It's
right?
doing pretty good
Just
with
rolls
all of
off
those.
tongue. But behind those three letters,
Let's see if it nails
there's the
IRS.
IRS. The French,
Okay, that sounded a little weird to me, right?
the IRS. The
IRS.
Mhm.
So what I might do here, and this is, I actually like really enjoy doing this. So like if this isn't your bag, no worries. But it's like a little game for me. So I'm going to convert this to audio.
Cool.
Actually, I probably shouldn't do that now that I think about it. Let me go back. Yeah, what I should do instead is change the actual word here. So I'm going to change it from IRS to
IRS.
Whoops, I need to be in write mode. That's why. And we're going to go with R like a pirate. S. Let's see if that is better.
Love this hack.
I know it's so like I find it
Also-
delightful to do this.
Yeah.
but maybe some people are like, where can't you get it right? Which is fair enough. But we'll let this generate. Do we have any questions we can talk about while we're doing that?
Definitely. Yes. So, Greg asks, how do you set single speaker audio so you don't need to set speaker for every overdub?
I'm not sure I follow that question.
Yeah.
Do you follow that question, Christiana?
Not exactly. Greg, could
Okay.
you rephrase and maybe put that in context so we know what you're asking? But I can grab another one.
Huh. Oh, like, I mean, if you have a bunch of speaker labels in your project, maybe that it could be if you wanted to replace it all. In that case, I mean, that's kind of a speaker labeling task, I would say.
Yep.
So maybe the easier way to do that, and it's relevant, so we can talk about it for sure. Like
Okay.
maybe if I don't need my speakers, let's say, I could just start removing them from the project and then just do one speaker for everyone.
Yep.
That would be a way to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, if Greg has a rephrase for that captures something else, we can move to that.
Yes, Greg, if that answered your question, let us know. Otherwise, yeah, follow up with us.
Cool.
There is a good question from the chat on this, and I was going to bring this up as well.
Excellent.
Joan asked, how does the text edit impact captions?
And it's a text edit impact captions. So captions are always going to be a one-to-one representation of your script.
Yep.
So if I go through here and I edit, this is going to show up as IRS if I do that. What I could do to avoid that problem is convert it to audio, at which point I can then correct the text without correcting the audio itself back to IRS, and then we are good to go. So that's the workflow for that. You need it to be an audio file so you can do that. But I would only do that when you're very satisfied with the audio quality of your overdub and or text-to-speech generation, at which point you can do the correction. So you'll see that, and we haven't listened to this yet, so I'm curious how this sounds anyway.
Then there's the IRS.
That was a little closer. I would probably tweak that a couple more times, see how that goes.
Then there's the IRS.
Yeah. But you can trick it if there's an issue like that. Cool. And I unconverted that just so that we can get back to where we are. Cool. A little bit about future plans. We do eventually, excuse me, we are hoping to add sort of tonality controls, speed controls, things that will just make it easier for you to adjust the cadence of the AI speaker. We are aware that in some cases it can take a lot of trial and error to get the thing that you want out of the overdub. I think personally, and we've talked about this internally as well, the best use case for most of this is filling in blanks and fixing things.
Yes.
As opposed to, I'm going to do an entire video that is AI speaker, because for my money, I've not heard a version of that is nobody will catch. Somebody will notice something about it. Humans are just really good at detecting fakeness in voice quality. So
Totally.
just keep that in mind while you're working on stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I think we've now gotten our model up where if you're fixing words here and there in that use case, you can't tell at all. I often can't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you are the type of person that is making like a faceless AI channel or TikTok, those are like really up there, and it doesn't matter if it sounds AI-y, like that's the whole point, then this is great for those purposes. But yeah, just +1ing you, Gabe.
Plus,
Also,
I feel
earlier for a while, I didn't know I was muted, and I was trying to convert. I was like, I was like, yeah, and like, yeah, Gabe.
and I was just ignoring you like a big jerk. Yeah.
No, I felt like you were probably like, why is she so quiet? So anyway.
No, I didn't notice at all. I saw it in our little private chat, but
okay, great. Glad.
I don't know when it happens, so no worries. Should we talk stock?
Let's talk stock voices.
Okay, I meant like buying and selling GameStop and stuff.
Oh
like
yes, what stocks we're shorting and all of that.
Yes, exactly. No. We're going to talk about stock speakers.
Yay!
Pretty cool. Okay, let's do another little script, Jenny. These are always just entertaining, so why not? What do you got? What do you got this time?
Okay, draft a script about let's see, 90s sitcoms.
Nice.
In the style of, what do you think?
Kermit the Frog here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't. Like we always get the directive, like don't make reference. I can't not do it. For an audience of Miss Piggies. I can't help myself. Let that generate. Okay, didn't do great there. Let's try one more time. Sometimes Kermit the brain is breaking slowly, one rail at a time. If this doesn't work, yeah, okay, cool. That's great. Good job. Nice try. Ask AI. Let's go back to our other summer in Albuquerque. Let's find somebody who sounds like Walter White. Welcome to our stock AI speakers. We have revamped this menu. It is now searchable. The names all have information about them. They're categorized with accent, style, age, gender leaning, more masculine, more feminine. And there are other things about it like conversational corporate, announcer, inspirational, that sort of stuff to clue you in on what these do. We have our old friend Don back, the awesome trailer voice guy. I think he's a great stand-in for Walter White. So I'm going to go with him. Let's do it. We can do previews real quick.
Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important. Capture the good times.
It's 100% correct, Alan.
Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important.
She's British. I disagree this time.
Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important. Capture the good times.
So yeah, we're not going to go through them all, but just to give you an idea, we now have accented voices. Let's hear Duncan real quick.
Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important.
I'm on the Fury Road with Duncan right now. Okay, cool. Let's have Don spool this up, and while we're waiting, if we can get some questions. If not, we can do some movie reviews.
Totally. Let's see. Okay. So some folks asked about like tonality and things like that, cadence. We know we're working on those, but in the meantime, would it make sense to have someone read the script in multiple takes in different tones and cadences?
So let's see. I just want to read through the question myself. Let's just read the disclaimer. Multiple takes. So what you would do, I think, in that case is you do your recording and then just go try it out. If you are unhappy, then I would say yes, go. Or if you just feel like I need options, go back and make a bunch of versions. And then I would just do like Gabe smarmy, Gabe angry, Gabe polite, all things I am every single day. And that should work out okay for you. As I mentioned before, there is this sort of smoothing aspect. We kind of want this to be, again, very useful for just replacing something quickly. And so there's this kind of a push towards neutrality in the voice, but you can still get stylized results for sure.
Cool.
One note also while we are generating this, stock speakers can't be used for replacement just because there's not really a reason to do that currently. Like there's no real reason to overdub in your own project with a stock voice, your own audio. Mm-hmm. So it's just for text to speech. Just something to keep in mind.
Cool. I can throw another question your way.
Yeah, and Don is half generated, so but let's do the question first because it's the front half still going.
Okay, cool. This one is a little bit random, but is there a way to get Descript to recognize and spell my name and the name of my company?
Yeah, so we have the transcription glossary, which I have not used in a bajillion years. So here it is, transcription glossary. That's your first step of just like, here's a word I use all the time. This is our list of, it's funny that LaBouffe is in there. That's a guy who used to work here, not Shia. Yeah, so these are recognized words. And then if you're in the situation that we were sort of talking about earlier, where it's mispronouncing IRS, or you work at Dunkin' Donuts and drinking donuts or something, you would just go into that and then work on a different phonetic pronunciation, which you can then correct out later. Does that answer the question, we think?
Yep.
Okay, let's listen to Don. See how Don did.
All right, listen up. It's summertime in Albuquerque. The sun beats down stronger here than it does anywhere else. You can feel it piercing through your skin, making you sweat like let's just say it's intense. But there's something special about these hot months. It's the time when the air smells like desert sage and possibilities. It's when the streets get quieter, save for the cicadas buzzing in the trees. Those of us who live here know how to handle the heat, but it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving in our own unique way.
One thing I've noticed about the stock voices and just voices in general, we are adding kind of breath tones, which help things sound a bit more natural. Another thing I noticed while we were just listening to this, stuff like this, it doesn't know how to interpret it. So my suggestion for any point where you're like, well, I put an M dash in, why isn't he pausing? You want a period here. So I would edit this so that it is a period.
Well, let's just say,
whoops. And it needs to regenerate
well,
anytime you do that. So just keep that in mind.
Cool.
But yeah, that'll insert the pause for us.
Awesome.
Yes, he does have an awesome voice. I saw somebody in the chat say Don, the Don voice was great. Also, if for whatever reason you are feeling like, oh, I really liked how Don used to sound, we do actually have these legacy speakers here. Just open the list and you can get the old versions of these voices back. Can't promise that'll be a forever thing, but for the foreseeable future, if any old version of one of these voices suits you, try it out. There are 20 stock voices, I believe, at this point, 21, which is a huge improvement from the 9 we had before.
Totally. Yep. And more to come. So
yes,
watch this AI space, you know?
Yes. Witness us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's
sorry. I just keep getting play on it.
No worries. Also, I love this like low-key Grammarly ad going on as well.
I should have turned it off before we started.
I also often will be editing in Descript and forget to turn it off, and it just makes me irate sometimes if it's like in my way.
Yeah.
But you know, what are you
gonna do? Well, you know, I've been thinking about uninstalling it, but you know, it's pretty useful.
It's
still
pretty dang handy.
Pretty good.
So.
They want me to premium it up. I'm not going to do that though.
Totally. Okay. Well, let's see. We hit so many things. We demoed how to make your AI speaker. Talked about a bunch of different ways to use AI speakers in your projects, with correcting audio with Overdub, generating brand new audio with text to speech, stock speakers. We hit on regenerate. Is there anything else you want to show us or cover before we jump into Q&A?
Nothing big. In our notes here, there's something that I always kind of like to harp on with all of this stuff is like, your goal here is to have some fun with these tools for the most part. You know, just keep your usage of things within the boundaries of good taste and ethics, I think, especially when we're talking about cloning voices. Make sure that you're always getting proper consent to use somebody else's voice before you use it. You know, just think through the implications of things as you're using all of these AI tools, because they're really powerful and cool. But we all want to take care of each other and make sure that we are on a safe planet. And yeah, don't steal voices. That's all.
Absolutely. Yep. Yes.
Q&A.
Cool. Okay, folks. Q&A time. Throw your remaining questions in the chat so that we can spend the next 12-ish minutes hitting on those. While we're here, though, I know some people will probably have to leave early. So please join our Discord community. Scan that QR code, or I just pinned it in the chat. Join us over there. We post about all of our events. People help each other out. We share inspiration projects that we've been making. So definitely join us over there. If you go to let us know in the intros channel if you found the Discord through this event. We always love to see that. Cool. Okay, let's jump into some questions here.
Sweet.
Great. I'm going to prioritize the ones that are about AI speakers, but if we have time, I will jump into some of the other ones.
Happily.
Awesome. Okay. So just to sort of double down on this, because I saw a lot of questions. So how do we add a pause between words? Can you do that?
Yeah. So you got two options. Option one, you edit your writing and you add periods. Commas also work, but periods I find are just more consistently useful. So if I want, as we saw here previously, I had an M dash situation, which was not interpreted as a pause. But if I would like him to pause here, I will probably just add a period You know what, Grammarly? How about we don't? So like I could do an ellipsis, but it doesn't really make a difference. But just for my script purposes and to illustrate the point, I'm going to make an ellipsis. And this will regenerate, and it's going to interpret this as a pause here. As you can see, like here, I'll just play this a little bit as well.
About these hot months.
So yeah, he's treating it like a a transitionary sentence, and it's going to try and interpret the cadence of its section. Like that's why it does it in these blocks, so that it can think about what the cadence should be. Whether it gets it right, your mileage may vary.
Cool. Okay. Kim asked, can you please explain the difference between the three things you talked about today? What is regenerative AI specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are three concepts to consider, maybe four. Concept one is I'm going to create a clone of my voice. If I want to do that, I go to the drive view, or even within a project, you can generate an AI speaker. You go through this flow, you read a script, and it clones your voice or your colleague's voice if they have given you consent to, if they've read the script for you, basically. The other concept is text to speech, which can use any of our voice options. So if you've cloned your own voice, or you have a stock speaker voice you'd like to use, you can just type into a script, decide who you want to say the script, and it'll generate, again, text to speech. The last two concepts are different versions of regenerate. So if you have a project that you've already worked on, it is a recording. And let me go to the single speaker one because that makes the most sense to me. So if I have a single speaker file, I can do several things. So one, I can overdub using one of my shared voices, whether it's me or a clone of a colleague. Overdub. Sometimes when it's near an edit boundary, it gets a little cranky about it. So let's go here instead. Replace, overdub. And here, if I want to change what I'm saying, I can do that. So if I want this to say pre-export rather than post-export, because I used the wrong word in that moment, I can overdub that line using my AI speaker voice, and that is now fixed. The last concept is regenerating, which is when I have a recording that I don't like the intonation or delivery of, but I like the words. This I can regenerate, and this does not require a consent statement, so you can use it for any speaker in your project without cloning their voice. It's just going to re-say the exact same thing they already said with a slightly different tonality. And then you can cycle through them, try different variations. And that is all of the types of AI speaking we do. Speak.
Love it. That was a really good summation. Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, let's see here. Some more of a security question.
Okay.
Also, just want to preface, me and Gabe are not like the topmost experts on like the state of we know like the policies and things like that, but obviously just want to call that out. But
Yeah.
Curious your thoughts.
Yes.
My client likes this, but I'm worried about the security, but she is worried about the security of her voice being stolen, leaked, or whatever.
Right.
How can we make sure it's protected, even though it's stated on the website that it's protected?
Yeah, so in terms of your data within Descript, we are not sharing your voice cloning audio with anyone. We are not sharing any readings of the consent statement, anything like that. So,
yep.
And the only time a Descript employee will listen to your voice or interact with it at all is if you write in for a support ticket and you say you're having trouble with your voice, and then an agent might listen to it or check the back end. There are some stipulations for like research and engineering, but the use cases are very limited and we are legally restricted to those use cases. So for full details, I'd go to terms and conditions and just search AI speakers and Overdub and those terms. just so you can get like a full breakdown of how we think about this legally. Privacy page as well as TOS. Marcelo correcting me, thank you. Yeah, and then as a sort of secondary thing to that, I would just, as a cautionary, this is how it's going on the planet right now. This technology is getting really, really good and really, really fast. I think there are models in existence currently, not ours, but models in existence currently that can just listen to any sample of audio and generate some kind of cloned voice. I think over the long term, it's going to be harder and harder to individually protect ourselves from these things. With all of that said, Descript is not interested in doing any of that kind of stuff. We want consent. We want people to share with each other specifically. So just cautionary about the wide world out there. But in Descript, I feel pretty comfortable doing this. Like you guys, I recorded my voice in front of all of you. Like, you can totally steal it at this point and make me say whatever you want.
This is true. Yep. And yeah, just because we're kind of on this topic, I want to pull up this thing that Nathan said. I have loved Descript, but I'm disappointed that you are providing wholesale AI voices rather than simply using AI to help real people with real voices improve or edit their voice recordings. Super appreciate your feedback. I do just want to call out that I don't know exactly what you mean by wholesale AI voices, but allowing folks to clone their AI voices is a way that we're trying to help people with real voices improve and edit their stuff, sort of to make impossible edits without having to re-record. It's also something that I really like about this and using stock voices is the accessibility use case. Not everybody is able to speak. And I really like that use case of the stock voices of people being able to tell audio visual stories without always having to having the ability to talk. So, but yeah, I think another piece of this, kind of like what Gabe said, we are all just still trying to figure out which aspects of AI, generative AI, we feel comfortable with and that we like to use.
Can I add one point just on the stock speaker thing?
Sure.
Those are not just fake AI voices. We hired actors. Those are real people who gave us consent to make their voice as well. So it's just, and it is for the use case that you mentioned of, I cannot speak for myself currently is the best way to think about it.
Totally. Yep. So just want to call that all out. So yeah. Okay, cool. We are almost at time here. Let me see if there's any other questions we can tap on real quick. Marcelo threw a bunch of information, our safety page and terms of service in there. So check that out. Cool. And then lastly here, Thriving Under Fire said, after I've edited my project, can I regenerate text in a whole project or do I need to do it paragraph by paragraph?
You know, that's a great question. I have not. I think let's try it because it's been a minute since I've tried to do something like this.
Cool.
So how much can I regen? I don't think there's 250 character limit, about 30 words.
Okay.
So I also don't know why you would want to regenerate an entire project, to be perfectly honest. But if there's a use case for that I'm not aware of, please let us know.
Totally. Cool. Okay, awesome. Well, we are at time here, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a super fun, lively discussion, and also the bigger discussions about AI are so important, and I really value being able to have those with the community. So keep sharing your thoughts. We will keep sharing ours. And yes, more AI stuff is coming this Tuesday on June 4th. Join us for season 6. We would love to see you there. As a reminder, this session was recorded. All of them are. So you will get a follow-up email with the recording, your promo code to get a free month of Descript Pro, and a bunch of other resources to continue with your Descript journey. Thank you so much, Marcelo, for holding it down in the chat as usual. Yeah, we couldn't do these things without you. Gabe, thank you for being an amazing host and walking us through all this stuff. And yeah, everybody, best of luck with the continued journey of us all figuring out this crazy AI stuff. I'm happy to be able to do it with all of you. And yeah, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you at a future event.